Hey there, if you're watching this, you're probably standing in the aisle of a home goods store or scrolling through endless pages online, wondering whether a dedicated beverage cooler is really worth the extra cash. You don't want to throw money at a fancy-looking unit only to find it sits half empty, takes up space you can't spare, or just ends up being a decorative paperweight. In short, you need to know if this specific model actually fits your day-to-day life, and not just your wish list. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Now, the Summit 19-inch Beverage Center is one of those in-and-outdoor coolers that promises a sleek stainless steel exterior with a glass front, a modest 3.13 cubic feet of volume, and an AD-compliant design, so it's supposedly easy for anyone to reach in. The big question is, does that promise translate into a practical appliance you'll actually use? Or is it just another piece of decor that gathers dust? Let's start with the kind of people who will get the most out of this thing. If you run a small bar, a coffee shop, or a boutique that serves drinks on the side, the shallow 17-inch depth means you can tuck it under a countertop without cramming the kitchen. The 3.13 cubic foot capacity holds roughly 30 standard cans, or a mix of bottles and pint glasses, which is perfect for a lunchtime crowd or a weekend gathering where you want chilled drinks without constantly opening the fridge. Because the door swings outward and the glass panel is large, you can easily see what's inside, and the ADA compliance means the handle is low enough that someone in a wheelchair can press it without trouble. That accessibility is a subtle but real win for any business that wants to be inclusive. If you're a homeowner who loves to entertain, the same reasoning applies, but you'll want to think about the space you have. The unit measures 19 inches wide and 17 inches deep, which fits nicely into many kitchen islands or pantry doors. I've seen a couple of people place it on a covered patio, and because it's rated for indoor or outdoor use, the stainless steel shell can handle a bit of humidity without rusting. The glass front, however, does require a shade or a roof if you're putting it in direct sun for long periods, otherwise the interior temperature will climb and you'll lose the cooling effect you paid for. Now, who should probably skip this model? If you're looking for massive party-size storage, say you want to keep a case of wine and a stack of six-packs for a big BBQ, this unit will feel cramped fast. The 3.13 cubic foot volume is respectable for a countertop appliance, but it's not a replacement for a full-size refrigerator. Also, if you need a freezer function, the Summit Beverage Center doesn't have that option, it's strictly a cooler. Finally, if your kitchen is already packed with appliances and you value minimal footprint above all else, the 19-inch width could still feel hefty compared to a compact mini fridge. Let's talk about the strengths in real-world terms. First, the temperature consistency. The unit uses a single compressor refrigeration system that keeps the interior around 38–40 F when the ambient temperature is typical room range. In a test I did on a summer afternoon, the cooler held a half-full load of canned sodas and they stayed crisp for the entire day without any noticeable warming. That's a practical upside for anyone who wants a reliable cold spot without having to open the main fridge every time you need a drink. Second, the ergonomics. The glass door is not only easy to see through, it opens with a smooth pivot that feels sturdy, not loose. The lower handle aligns with the ADA standard, so reaching in doesn't require bending down to your knees. For a busy cafe counter, that means staff can grab a bottle and slide it back without a lot of wrist movement, which speeds up service during rush hour. The shallow depth also means you can place tall bottles like a 1-liter soda without them sticking out the top. Third, the aesthetic. A stainless steel finish with a brushed texture resists fingerprints better than a glossy metal, and the glass front adds a modern touch that blends into both contemporary kitchens and more industrial-looking bar settings. It's a subtle visual upgrade that doesn't scream appliance the way a bulkier cooler might, so you get a cooler that actually looks like part of your decor. Now the weaknesses again, grounded in everyday scenarios. The first snag is the noise level. The compressor kicks in with a low hum that's audible from across the room. In a quiet home office or a small shop where background sound matters, that hum can be a little distracting. It's not a deafening roar, but you'll notice it if you're trying to have a conversation near the unit. Secondly, the glass front, while attractive, can become a maintenance point. Smudges from fingerprints, or a light film of water after a rainy outdoor placement need a quick wipe down with a non-abrasive cleaner. If,